Hey everybody, this is another Diary of a Wimpy Kid horror story slash fan fiction, whatever you want to call it. So, let's get it started. Monday. Oh yeah, and I guess just like the previous one, I wrote this myself, and if you haven't listened to the previous one, definitely check that one out. Alright, Monday. I'm skipping school today. That freaking moron Rolly told everybody he helped me shave my body for Halloween this weekend. Like, what type of friend is that? Just going around airing out everybody's business like it's his own? Hopefully all the kids forget by tomorrow. I don't think I can convince Mom and Dad I've got diarrhea and threw up more than one day in a row, due to the fact they'll be wanting to check the toilet after it happens to confirm I'm telling the truth after the first time. I tried making a fake mixture in the past, but there's no proper way to replicate the smell. I even asked Roderick for ideas, and he said he tried the same thing back in his day and failed. So there's no way someone as dumb as me could pull it off. As much of a chump as he is, he's right. I suppose facing the music tomorrow won't be too bad. I mean, if I explain it was for my Halloween costume, everyone will understand, right? Who am I kidding? The buffoons at my school can't even comprehend proper Fortnite building techniques, let alone the fact I need help perfecting my cat femboy costume. Let's not get into the details on how I managed to sneak the costume past Mom and Dad, considering how strict they are with checking my mail. Just know, the neighbors next door think I stole a package from them. Well, if they saw me anyway, I don't know. Tuesday. Writing in this thing before school, just in case I die of embarrassment tomorrow. If I do not return, please bury me with all my video games so that nonce Manny can't get them. Now that I think about it, that little disaster would dig up my corpse to get them anyway, so do it. So do what you will. I'm going to haunt that bastard if it's the last thing I do. I tried on my costume too, and it's fabulous. I look like Amanda Bynes before all the cocaine and alcohol. This will be perfect for Halloween. After school. Well, school was something today. Sharad Gupta and the boys were ragging on me as expected, spouting all the typical slurs you hear in a Call of Duty lobby. Even a few I had to look up on Urban Dictionary. Mr. Huff's history class was a whole different story. Let's just say I think I'm legitimately going to report him to the police. He has always been a weirdo, you know, casually flirting with the girls in class, but this time he took it way too far with me. The class even all laughed afterward as if he didn't just commit sexual assault. I told the boys during lunch and things went from haha, Rolly hoped Greg shave his balls to to dead serious in a fraction of a second. A couple guys said I should go to the principal and police. Sherrod told me he doesn't think there are cameras in the classroom, so getting proof wouldn't be possible. I didn't know what to do next until he thought up an idea that was so crazy it just might work. We set up a sting operation for Halloween when we're all out trick-or-treating. Sorry, I just got a random text. We set up a sting operation for Halloween when we're out trick-or-treating and see if we can catch Mr. Huff on some charges. Wednesday. This is going to be a dangerous idea, but if we make it work, we'll be legends of the school for all eternity. Getting the worst teacher of all time thrown in prison? I can only imagine. Rolly brought me back down to earth and let me know that likely he'd just be fired, not put in prison, but it's a victory either way. As of now, we don't even know where Mr. Huff lives, but Sherrod told me he can take care of finding that out with a few Google searches. I just hope the FBI doesn't come knocking because CPS has already been to the house recently due to Manny's shenanigans. Mom and Dad might be awful parents sometimes, but it's better than being out on the streets or in a foster home. School today was back to the normal, except Mr. Huff was acting strange again. We gotta take care of this before it gets out of hand. We made a pact to not speak of our plans inside school, so there's zero possibility Mr. Huff or anybody else, for that matter, finds out. Thursday. Our scheme is planned out. Rolly and I will go trick-or-treating as normal, get our bags filled to the brim. Then, at the end of the night, just before trick-or-treat is over, we'll stop by Mr. Huff's house. We don't know if he'll be handing out candy this year, but typically he does, so our plan should be good to go. We'll step up into his doorway and see if he'll let us in to use the bathroom before heading back home. If he tries anything fishy, I'll have a tiny hidden camera streaming footage back to Sherrod's house. The streaming thing was Sherrod's idea. He thought it was good in case Mr. Huff went berserk and destroyed the camera somehow, so we could still have evidence. He might call me and Rolly slurs sometimes, but he's an alright guy, I'll tell you what. We're psyched out that Mr. Huff might try something wild, though we can't go to the police since we have no real proof. Rolly suggested we could try to record him in school, but I heard of students getting expelled for that before, especially if it's a hidden camera. I don't think that's a good idea, even if we get Mr. Huff fired or jailed. We're already being insanely risky, so I prefer to put our plan into action. Friday. Today is Halloween dress-up day at school. Originally, I wasn't going to wear my cat femboy costume, but since everybody already knows about the me and Rolly thing, I might as well go for it. I look downright scrumptious in it, I'll tell you what. Even Holly Hills gave me a compliment on the costume. She was dressed as some sort of gothic witch queen. I said that wrong. She was dressed as some sort of gothic witch. My queen always slays. Surprisingly, Mr. Huff didn't try anything today. Maybe he knows we're onto him? Well, either way, tomorrow's Halloween. The day of action is upon us. Sherrod showed me how to attach the tiny camera, and boy, it's way smaller than I thought it would be. You wouldn't even notice it unless you were looking for it. Halloween. I'm writing this just before heading to Rolly's to change into my costume, then heading out to trick-or-treat. I told Roderick what was going down, just in case I don't come back home in time. Someone knows who to call. Sure, we could trust Sherrod, but you never know if the stream feed will cut out. He suggested I take some sort of self-defense with me, just in case, and loan me one of his pocket knives that flipped open into a 3-inch blade. If there's no more entries after this, I'm deceased. I'll be taking this diary with me like usual, but I doubt I'll have time to scribble down anything while out collecting candy. Later that evening, Mr. Huff took Rolly to show him where his bathroom is. I'm currently sitting on his couch in the middle of a tiny living room. Not much decoration going on in here besides a small TV and a portrait of what I assume is his extended family. Rolly just walked back out wide-eyed as if Mr. Huff did something despicable to him. I shouldn't have let them go back there alone. I bolted for the door, but it was locked from the outside. This insane man purposely put the top lock to his house on backwards, so you need a key to get in or out. I'm manically scribbling this down, trying to decide what to do. If these are my last words, tell everyone I went out swinging. I can only imagine what Sherrod's thinking right now. Oh, Sherrod! I hope he calls the police. I can hear Mr. Huff walking back out now. Well, here we go. Past midnight. Mr. Huff came back out of the hallway completely naked, carrying a sawed-off shotgun. He pointed it at us and instructed Rolly and me to follow him back to the bedroom. It smelled like Manny's It smelled like Manny's pee drawer back there. I'll tell you what. We were both visibly shaking uncontrollably, as any kid would be. I saw his pants on the bed and immediately thought the house keys must be in there, right? I didn't see them anywhere in the kitchen, and this is a tiny house with no upstairs or basement. Maybe I could grab them and make a run for the door. Or maybe I wait and hope the police make it there in time. I'm not going to write down what Mr. Huff started doing to Rolly, but it was truly messed up. I knew it was my turn next as Rolly sobbed on the bed, so I decided to chance it all. I felt Roderick's knife inside my pocket in what seemed like an eternity. I pulled it out, flicked it open, and planted the blade right in Mr. Huff's back. Holy hell, I reached for his pants, but the impact of a knife caused him to recoil and pull the trigger of the shotgun. I didn't even comprehend it at the time, but now I realized he had shot Rolly. He screamed out the most blood-curdling yell I've ever heard, even worse than when he broke his leg on the slide that one summer. As I ran towards the exit with his pants, I dove out the doorway just as the second shell went off above my head. Mr. Huff had turned and fired in my direction. All I'm saying is thank God double-barrel shotguns only hold 2 shells. I grabbed the keys out of the pants pocket, whipped open the door, and sprinted down the street like Usain Bolt. I heard the police sirens in the distance as I was rounding the corner home. I don't know if Rolly is dead or what, but at this point I'm just happy I made it back, emotionally scarred for life, but physically unscathed. Sunday. Rolly's dead. There, he's gone. But so was Mr. Huff. He fired on the cops after they kicked down his door and ended up getting mag-dumped by the sheriff. I can't say it's all worth it, but I was always taught to look on the bright side in life, even when the skies are as gray as can be and the storm is pouring down upon you. I made it out of hell alive, and Rolly's parents gave me all his video games and consoles since they won't be using those anymore. That's cynical for me to write, I know, but it's looking on the bright side, right? Man, I'm gonna miss Rolly. He was an awesome friend, but can't change the past. Monday. There was an entire school assembly today, praising me and Rolly as heroes. Several of the girls came up and hugged me, and said, thanks for taking care of that creep. I don't know how to feel about it, but I even got to kiss Holly Hills. She said everything I accomplished was brave to the point of being incomprehensible. This isn't how I imagined getting the girl in the end of it all, but hey, as a wise, quirky doctor once said, life finds a way. And that's the end of the story. Hope you all enjoyed. Much love to you all.